Nigga! What's up, it's your boy Super Mario 1990 coming at you with a spoiler-free Life is Strange True Colors review. And this time around, Life is Strange has you using Alex Chen, a former foster child who recently found her older brother Gabe Chen in a small town called Haven Springs. After their reunion is cut short from a fatal accident, Alex finds herself grieving the loss of her brother and wants answers about what really happened to Gabe. In doing so, Alex ends up unraveling a multi-layered mystery rife with elaborate twists and turns. Now, Alex Chen has a power called empathy where she can see and sometimes even feel another person's emotions. Honestly, I thought this power was only going to be good for storytelling and character development, as it would lend context to characters and how they feel in certain situations. And while the empathy powers did do an excellent job in this aspect, it was also a great gameplay mechanic as well. Not only can Alex see emotions as auras, where they display as nice neon colors, but if an emotion from a character was strong enough, it could change the whole atmosphere. Some scenes just became a cool illusion with nice visual and sound effects that really added to the feel and intensity of the emotion that was being experienced. This made the moments where you encountered these emotions all the more tense. Not only can you use Alex's empathy as a tool to solve her brother's death, she can also use the power in her spare time to help characters or just gather information to know more about them or the town and its history. This is of course best utilized if you spend your time away from the main objectives and explore a little, which I found very rewarding, and it went a long way in helping me understand Haven Springs and its residents a lot better, adding context, history, and depth to the game, helping you care about what happens next. Now, anyone who's played a Life is Strange title knows that it's a decision-based narrative game, and I would say that this installment is the best as far as your decisions actually having some weight in how the story shapes up. You feel like everything you do will have some kind of consequence, reward, or just some kind of impact on events later in the game. As you become more invested in Alex and her brother and wanting to find justice for his death, making the right decisions become all the more stressful as you want to try your hardest to achieve the best results possible. This helps you pay attention to what's going on with the interactions Alex has with others. And the graphics in this game are the best of the series. The previous installments had a cartoony look, taking a lot of immersion from the story and even the characters. With this game, while it doesn't look like one of the best AAA games, the textures are a lot more clear and crisp, and the character animations are top notch compared to the previous games of the franchise. Not to mention the stunning visuals of Alex's empathy powers, which can just add a completely new level of immersion to the game. There are also a ton of cool moments to break up the tension in this game, as there are activities like playing arcade games, and since Steph Gingrich is in this game, there's also a chapter where you have a LARP, which is a live action role play. This chapter actually turns Life is Strange into a strategy RPG turn-based game at one point. It's a pretty fun way to break from the intense moments, and it stays within the story of the game very well. There are also other activities to keep Alex busy, letting you do a variety of things in Haven Springs so that you're never bored with just solving a mystery. The game does a great job of dividing itself into chapters. Since this is the first time the game has been released all at once instead of episodically, it still plays like it has episodes. There are 5 chapters, and once you beat a chapter, they show you your decisions at the end, versus results other people had. From there, you can look at your stats, and if you want to continue, you can go right ahead. Or you can just go into the main menu if you need a break and just pick it up at the start of the next chapter. I personally found myself playing the game chapter by chapter in multiple sessions. I also found the tone of this game to be very tame from its predecessors, which lots of people may find this as a good thing, as the previous titles kind of went too far with some people. You had outrageous characters and over-the-top moments in previous games, and while I was a huge fan of that, I thought that the direction in this game was going to be boring and not as entertaining. And while the game is more tame with the characters and behaviors that are more grounded and believable, the story is still great and provides some great and memorable moments. This is credited not only to the writers, but also the empathy power that is incorporated into the game. It really adds a neat element to the game that is on par with Max Caulfield's time rewinding ability. You may not think much of the idea behind Alex's empathy power, but it truly is a game changer. Now, I have thoroughly enjoyed every Life is Strange title, and this was no different, providing you with another original story with well-rounded characters, maybe the coolest power in the series, and a plot twist that is just as elaborate and a twist just as good as in the first game. Life is Strange True Colors can arguably be touted as the best of the series. Honestly, I still like the first one because I just love Chloe Price so much, but that's the beauty of this whole series. Since each game centers around a different character and usually a different city, People can identify with one more than the other, depending on what resonates with them more. I gave this title a 9 out of 10, along with the other titles of the series, except for the first game, which I gave a 10 out of 10. But if you enjoyed any or all games in this series, I think it's a given you'll thoroughly enjoy this one too. And if you're a fan of storytelling narratives where your decisions can have an impact on how the story transpires, then I feel like this game is a must play. Hopefully you enjoyed this review and plan on playing this game if you didn't already. If you indeed liked the review, please leave a like and subscribe. You know you want to do it. Push the button. Now this your boy Super Mario 1990, and I'm out. Peace in.